I was sipping my morning coffee when the notification lit up my phone. The mug felt warm in my hands, the kind of ceramic comfort I'd earned after years of stretching every dollar. I curled deeper into my cream-colored armchair, silk blouse still pressed from yesterday's meeting, the city skyline glowing through my floor-to-ceiling window. For a moment, everything was still. Then I saw it. My mother's latest Facebook post. Her words, in bold font for the entire family to see. After all I sacrificed for my daughter, she can't even spare $1,000 a month for her own mother. Some kids are just selfish. I felt my chest tighten. My thumb hovered over the screen as a dozen comments stacked beneath hers, cousins chiming in, family friends liking her lament. They didn't know the truth. They didn't know the months I'd spent saving, working double shifts, scraping by just to give her the $6,200 trip she'd once cried about never being able to afford. And now I was the villain. I pressed the mug against my lips, but the coffee had gone cold. Funny how quickly warmth disappears. My reflection in the window stared back at me, successful, composed, polished, yet carrying scars no one in that thread would ever see. I set my phone down and whispered to myself, steady and certain, enough. 2 years ago, I was still living in a cramped studio apartment in Houston, the kind where you could fry an egg on the stove and practically touch your bed at the same time. Rent ate most of my paycheck, and student loans consumed the rest. Still, when Mom started talking about her dream vacation, a Mediterranean cruise she'd seen advertised for $6,200, I listened. She spoke about it with tears in her eyes, saying she never had a honeymoon, never got to see the world, never had anything that was just for her. And I believed her. Or maybe I wanted to believe that if I gave her this one thing, she'd finally look at me with pride instead of disappointment. So I started saving. Every latte I didn't buy, every dinner out I skipped, every extra shift at the office, it all went into a hidden envelope marked Mom's trip. I remember standing at the checkout line, holding a pair of heels I'd wanted for months, only to put them back because the cruise fund came first. By the time I handed her the money, my hands were shaking. I thought she'd hug me, maybe cry, maybe tell me she was proud. Instead, she counted it twice, slid the envelope into her purse, and said, "Good. Now you're finally acting like a real daughter." Her words stung sharper than any slap. But I swallowed it, telling myself gratitude sometimes hides behind pride. The breaking point came a month later. She called me out of the blue, voice sharp, demanding, "Since you're doing better now, you can start sending me $1,000 every month." I shouldn't have to ask. I froze. The phone felt heavy against my ear. "Mom, I can't do that," I whispered, my throat tight. Her sigh came like thunder. "So you're selfish after all. After everything I've done for you." And then came the final blow. Her posts online, calling me ungrateful, shaming me for relatives to see. I wanted to disappear. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed, tears running hot down my face. My best friend, Claire, slipped an old sticky note into my hand. In her neat handwriting it read, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm." I kept that note tucked in my wallet. And the next morning, for the first time in my life, I made a decision not out of guilt, but out of survival. I chose me. Choosing myself didn't happen overnight. At first, it just looked like survival. Longer hours at the firm, late nights with takeout cartons stacked on my desk, eyes blurry from spreadsheets and proposals. But in the quiet hours, something unexpected was taking shape. I started freelancing on the side, small marketing projects for local boutiques, then bigger contracts with startups. I learned to design logos, build campaigns, pitch ideas with confidence. Each new skill became a brick in the foundation I was building for myself. There were nights I cried into my pillow from exhaustion, wondering if I was just running in circles. But then came the small wins. My first check for $500, paid entirely for my own work. My first client who called me brilliant. My first referral that came without me asking. Claire, my best friend, was the one who kept me grounded. "You're better than you think you are," she'd tell me over greasy diner fries at 2 in the morning. Stop shrinking to fit into someone else's idea of you. Eventually, I caught the attention of Julia Ramirez, a seasoned marketing executive I met at a networking event. She was elegant, sharp, the kind of woman who made a room fall silent when she spoke. To my surprise, she saw something in me. "You've got grit," she said, sipping her martini. "And grit can't be taught. If you're serious, I'll mentor you, but you'll have to work twice as hard." I nodded before fear could talk me out of it. Under Julia's guidance, I learned to negotiate contracts, to walk into boardrooms without shrinking, to price my worth without apology. She didn't coddle me. She demanded excellence, and for the first time, I demanded it of myself too. The climb was brutal. I lost sleep. I lost friends who thought I was too busy. I even lost the version of myself who thought approval had to come from home. But with each sacrifice, I gained something far greater: independence. My biggest break came when a national skincare brand hired me to revamp their campaign. I poured everything into it: ideas, strategy, heart. When the campaign went viral, their sales skyrocketed. And suddenly, doors opened. Clients came knocking. My name began circulating in spaces I never thought I'd enter. Within a year, I had built a boutique agency of my own. It started with just me and a laptop at a borrowed desk. Then came an assistant. Then 2 designers. Then an office downtown with glass doors and a view that made me catch my breath every morning. Through it all, I stayed careful online. My mother watched my posts like a hawk. So I kept my updates modest: a photo of a coffee shop, a vague caption about projects, never revealing the reality of the empire I was quietly building. The sticky note Claire gave me stayed in my wallet, edges frayed now, ink fading. Every time I wanted to cave to guilt, I'd touch it, breathe, and remember, survival was no longer enough. I was building a life that was mine. It happened on a Thursday afternoon, the kind of day where the sun was sharp and the air smelled faintly of rain. I was in my office, a corner suite with tall glass windows overlooking downtown Dallas, when my receptionist buzzed in. "Your mother is here," she said hesitantly. For a moment, I thought I misheard. My stomach dropped. I hadn't invited her, hadn't prepared for this. Yet there she was, standing in my lobby with her floral blouse and pursed lips, flanked by my Aunt Marlene. I smoothed my blazer, slipped on my calmest smile, and walked out to greet them.
"Mom."
Aunt Marlene. What a surprise. Mom's eyes flickered over the polished reception area, the sleek gray couches, the coffee table stacked with magazines featuring my agency's work, the brass plaque on the wall that read, "Carter Creative Agency." My name etched right beneath it. "This is yours?" she asked, voice thin. "Yes," I said softly. "All of it." I ushered them inside. My office was warm, intentional, framed photographs of campaigns I'd led, books lined on walnut shelves, a single orchid blooming on the desk. Subtle, but unmistakably successful. They sat stiffly on the leather chairs across from me, eyes darting at every detail. Aunt Marlene's fingers traced the armrest as if testing whether it was real. Mom's lips pressed tighter, as though the words she wanted were fighting to stay inside. Finally, she spoke. "So, this is where all your money goes." While I'm left embarrassed, I inhaled, steadying myself. "Mom, I'm not hiding because I'm ashamed. I'm protecting myself. Because the last time I gave everything I had to you, it wasn't enough. You wanted more. And when I said no, you shamed me in front of the whole family." Her eyes flashed. "I only told the truth. You have so much, and I have so little." I leaned forward, hands folded on my desk.
"No, Mom."
I earned this. Every late night, every skipped meal, every ounce of doubt I fought through, it built this. And none of it was handed to me. Silence hung heavy. Aunt Marlene glanced between us, uncomfortable. I stood and walked to the window, the city sprawling behind me like proof of everything I'd survived. "You always told me I wasn't enough. But I am. I built something from nothing. Without you. And the truth is, I wanted you to be proud of me. I still do. But I won't pay for your approval anymore." When I turned back, I saw it. the first crack in her armor. Her hands trembled against her lap. Her eyes, glossy now, flickered between anger and something I hadn't seen in years. Doubt. You really did all this, she whispered. Yes, I said, my voice steady, almost gentle. And I'm not the little girl you get to shame into silence anymore. For the first time, they had no rebuttal. Just the quiet realization that the daughter they underestimated had outgrown the shadows they cast. I sat back down, calm and composed. The question now is simple. Do you want to keep pretending I'm selfish? Or do you want to see the woman I've become? Neither answered. But their silence was the loudest truth I'd ever heard. I let the silence linger, heavy but cleansing, before I finally spoke again. My voice was calm, measured, not sharp with anger, but edged with certainty. Here's where we stand, I said, folding my hands neatly on the desk. I'm not here to punish you, Mom, but I also won't allow myself to be punished anymore. Her eyes narrowed, but I pressed on. I'm willing to help, but on my terms. If you want financial support, it won't be unconditional. I need you to commit to therapy. Weekly. You carry wounds, and you've passed those wounds down to me. That cycle ends now. She scoffed, but her voice wavered. Therapy? That's for weak people. No, I said firmly. It's for strong people who want to heal. You've asked me to give and give, but what I need from you is growth. If you can't agree to that, there will be no more money. Not a dime. Aunt Marlene shifted uncomfortably, but I caught her eyes softening, as though some part of her understood. And there's more, I continued. If you speak about me online, it must be the truth, not half stories meant to shame me. If I see one more post dragging my name, our relationship goes dark. Completely. Her lips parted as if to argue, but no words came. I leaned back, letting the leather of my chair cradle me. This isn't cruelty. This is balance. I love you, Mom. But love without respect isn't love. It's control. And I refuse to live under control any longer. The room thickened with quiet. Finally, Aunt Marlene cleared her throat. And what about me? She asked softly. I turned to her, my tone still gentle but firm. You've enabled her for years. Whispered in agreement when she complained about me, nodded when she spread half-truths. If you want me in your life, that has to stop. I'm not asking for apologies every day. I'm asking for honesty. When she tells a story that isn't true, you correct it. You don't add to it. She blinked, startled, then gave the faintest nod. I looked back at my mother. Her hands twisted in her lap. The defensive edge in her posture softened into something uncertain, almost childlike. I know this is hard to hear, I said gently, but I need you to understand. I've built this life because I chose myself, and I'll keep choosing myself. If you want to be part of it, you'll need to choose differently too. The clock ticked softly on the wall. For once, she didn't argue. She just stared at the orchid on my desk, her jaw tight, her breath shallow. I could see it, the beginning of a shift. Small, fragile, but real. The weeks that followed were quieter than I expected. No cryptic Facebook posts, no late-night voicemails dripping with guilt. Just silence. And silence, for the first time in years, felt like freedom. Then, one Sunday morning, a message popped up on my phone. It wasn't dramatic. Just 3 words from Mom. I started therapy. I stared at the screen, my throat tightening. Part of me wanted to distrust it, to brace for disappointment. But another part, the little girl who once begged for her mother's approval, let herself exhale. When we met again months later, I saw subtle changes. Her posture softer. Her words slower, less sharp. Not perfect, maybe never perfect, but different. She didn't ask for money. She asked about me. About my agency, about the people in my life. It was awkward, unfamiliar, but real. Aunt Marlene, too, began shifting. She stopped parroting complaints and started defending me in conversations. She even pulled me aside once and whispered, I didn't realize how much we hurt you. I see it now. Healing wasn't instant. It wasn't a neat bow tied around years of damage. But it was movement. And for the first time, I felt like the cycle might actually break. One night, after they left my office, I pulled out the old sticky note from my wallet. The ink had faded, the paper nearly torn through at the folds. Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. I smiled, tears prickling my eyes. That note had carried me through the darkest nights, through sacrifice, through shame, through the climb. It reminded me that survival wasn't selfish, it was necessary. And now, survival had bloomed into something more. Independence. Strength. Grace. I placed the sticky note back into my wallet and whispered, as if to my younger self. I saved for months for Mom's $6,200 trip. She asked for more. She shamed me online. But I am not ashamed anymore. I am free. The city lights flickered outside my window, and for the first time in years, I felt completely at home. In my office, in my life, in my own skin.